precise. That is what the neurologists of 2000 to 2002 people, the Neurological Congress in Americans, Neurological Congress, they have presented papers on music and how it affects the neurons in the brain. And they find that even if a man is sleeping and he is listening to some music, then his brain is functioning. So many neurons are being fired, and that they have recorded. So that they say that the music is not something, music is getting synchronized even when you are not consciously receptive to that music. So it's essential that that's one of the reasons, maybe that Veena players and all they are doing, that the embryo may not be receptive for music, may not be consciously receptive, but it is being fed with certain musical pattern. Now some ingredients I will touch, and I will try to finish within 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes, so that we have some discussion, and maximum 10 minutes I will try to take. And some, for instance, this amplitude is very important because the loudness. Suppose I say when you listen to Mozart, then you put it in a very sky-high volume, and then you may damage your hearing capacity. So amplitude is very, very important. And unfortunately, it's one of the, as in the last seminar I was having, the noise pollution. We found in Delhi the noise pollution levels are very, very high. And most of us are partially deaf, actually, whether we admit or not. Because whenever I use a cell phone, I am reminded that I am partially deaf. Then the tempo of music is very essential. For instance, in our experiments we have found that the slow and medium paced sattvic music is conducive for heart patients. So even people after heart attack, many people can go for this type of music, so that they don't go for very fast music. That's the idea. For instance, this sample I just play for a minute. Just concentrate on this type of music, you will find that it retards, it slows down your thinking process. Because most of our problems today is because we are overactive and we are overthinking. We are thinking too much, perhaps of ourselves and perhaps of other things, unnecessarily. Most of our thinking is rubbish. But nobody will accept, because when you switch on the television you find so much of debate is going on, why this man raped that person and all that. That is the type of thinking we are having. We try to find out reasons for this, this analysis, that analysis, how stock market is behaving, why it is behaving, why it is not behaving like this. I mean, what sort of thinking, the moment you switch on a television program or anything, now your left brain is overfed. Left hemisphere of the brain is meant for analysis, and the right hemisphere of our brain is meant for subtler qualities like music and emotion and other things, love and other things. So we are not using our right hemisphere in this generation. I am telling, the past 30-40 years generation. And the current generation is more prone to computers. It's a binary logic. Yes or no, there can't be any third. But in India, in ancient India, there used to be always a third category. Yes, no, and yes and no. So depending on the situation, and the logic changes. So this sort of comfort is not there now, thanks to our Western education and the type of development we try to imitate from others. That's how we are getting into this problem. And most of the people in India are having problems with mind. And because of the type of education which they are fed with 3 years, they go to the preschool and they start everything analysis. So there is little room for love and little room for music. So it's necessary that we propagate that all the schools should have proper music education. So people should be introduced to music. Because music itself is a representation of love. Unless you have love, you cannot be a singer. Or you cannot even listen to. You must develop love first to listen to a good piece of music. If you don't have love, you say, oh, what is this music? What nonsense? इसमें क्या चीज़ है? कुछ नहीं है. Time pass हो गया. चली गई. So love, it enables you to develop a habit of love because it's all habituation. You develop a habit of love, then you develop a habit of music. These are the things which are confined to the right hemisphere of the brain as also to be reactivated among people. Otherwise there will be a lot of problems. Now this is the timbre tone color because it's very important, as we said, that slowness, the timbre, or for instance, if I want to say timbre, I just demonstrate one instrument like this. This is a simple, how do they call it? So this is a timbre. You can listen to that. So I brought some more instrument, but I'm not finding it here. I think my person has packed everything. It's a Tibetan singing board, and this has its own timbre. So you can find the difference. And similarly, this is the manjira. If you have this is a timbre. That means these 3 timbres you form, timbre they call it, these tone colors, they are different for different instruments. Not only that, they are different for different people. I have my tone color and somebody else has tone color. Suppose you are saying one frequency, like sa, like that. Sa. If I say sa in the same frequency you are saying, if a woman sings, then it is different. The timbre changes. The frequency is the same, but the timbre changes. So this timbre is also very essential for giving certain emotional aspects. In fact, that's what beautifully used by Bach. When he has mixed timbre, he has used a very huge orchestra in which brass is there, then you have pipes, you have various kinds of pipes, trumpets, drums, so many things get mixed and a cocktail of that you get in a European orchestra. That gives a different personality for the music.
Check it out now. The funk soul brother. Right about now. The funk soul brother. Check it out.
This is basically a music for the gym. The people who use treadmill, for instance, they get bored. And I won't recommend any of you to use treadmill because it has become a fashion, and I find that there are victims of using treadmill because it affects basically the knees. The knees part of it, and people who use too much of treadmill, they end up with arthritic problems. This is the latest this thing, but there is a fashion that many people go for gym and spend a lot of money and then use this treadmill. So best thing is a walk. Brisk walk is recommended for all of us. But for this treadmill, people get bored, so then they use this type of music, which is physical music. You'll find it's physical, nothing mental. So it actually activates and you get synchronized with the rhythm, so that you don't get bored, when you do the treadmill.
Music for walking also?
Walking also you can have, but brisk walk. You can have an appropriate pace music, medium pace if you have, and then you can use it for walking. When you can use unconsciously, you try to step it, like army people they use. Military music. It's meant for only for that. The fatigue, is addressed by this music. because